It's been nearly 2 months since Senator John McCain passed away from brain cancer. His namesake nonprofit, however, wants his values and his goals to live on in politics. The McCain Institute launching a new push to encourage voting ahead of the midterms. It's called Mavericks Needed. Take a look.
We stand for truth against falsehood, freedom against tyranny, right against injustice, hope against despair. I believe we must always stand up for if we do not, who will?
That ad is part of this 2-year campaign, which is aimed at boosting civic engagement, regardless of party. Joining us now to talk more, Kurt Volker, who is, of course, the executive director of the McCain Institute and also former ambassador to NATO. Good to have you with us. We can't help but notice that the president's name is not mentioned anywhere in that ad campaign, but in many ways, the message does feel that it could be directed at him. Is it?
Well, it's not meant to target any particular individual, any politician, or even any current issue, frankly. It's really about trying to inspire in our citizenship, in our citizenry, the kind of leadership, the kind of courage, the kind of commitment to action that John McCain represented. He was about very big issues. He was always fighting for a cause greater than self-interest. He was always fighting for others. And that's a spirit that I think we need to capture and project forward. And so we're really to reach out to the public broadly, especially young people, and encourage them to become more civically engaged. A first step is voting, however they want to vote. And then beyond that, we'd like to maintain a connection with people who are committed to doing what they can to solve problems in this country.
As I understand it, the idea for this came about in the spring, before Senator McCain passed. How involved was he in this planning?
Well, we talked a lot about human rights. That was one of the lead-in discussions with him. The McCain Institute was set up about 6 years ago, and we've developed some very solid programs in advancing the next generation of character-driven leadership, in combating human trafficking, and we wanted to launch into an area talking about human rights. As we discussed it more and more, and we researched this over the summer, we learned that people don't have a clear idea what human rights are. In fact, there's a bit of a lack of clarity about civics, about the role of government, about the role of citizens in a democracy. So we decided to go bigger than just human rights initially and say, you know, we need to be reaching out to our own public and try to encourage them to show leadership and be engaged. And from there, we hope that they will be embracing and advancing all of those core American values that we all believe in: freedom, democracy, human rights, human dignity, those sorts of things. And so that's how we came up with this campaign. We started talking about human rights and then made it a broader message.
And then it evolved. There's the Maverick Pledge, as we know, and the Maverick, as we saw in part of that ad, defined as, you know, stepping up for others, defending others, as you pointed out, focusing on the greater good and your contribution to a larger community. The president, both last night and today, has touted the fact that he very proudly considers himself a nationalist, putting this country first above perhaps global interests. Can you be both a maverick and a nationalist?
You know, John McCain's campaign slogan in one of his presidential campaigns was "Country First." And what that means is that you're a patriot, you believe in this country, you want to do what's right for this country. It's not an exclusive thing. You're not doing it against others, but you are standing up for and believing in those values that define what we are as Americans and trying to lead in a way that helps others.
Kurt Volker, pleasure to have you with us today. Thank you.
Thank you.